Matthew and Diana go to Bohemia to search for Edward Kelley and the Book of Life. There they encounter the strange Emperor Rudolf II. Hello, everybody. I'm Steve from VALHARTV, and today I'll be reviewing A Discovery of Witches Season 2, Episode 7. So we finally arrive in Bohemia, 1591, where Diana and Matthew end up gaining an audience with Emperor Rudolf at his hunting lodge. Now, this hunting lodge actually I thought was kind of cool because it's basically a castle. And they're like, oh, it's just a hunting lodge. Oh, this is cool. And I'm like, hunting lodge is like a cabin in the woods, where you go and you get to have a fire, outside or, in your fireplace and you go hunting, just a small cabin. This is a castle. I thought that was pretty cool that they called it a hunting lodge. But I assume back then that's what it was, We get to see Rudolph, though, is rude to both Diana and, well, really Matthew. He doesn't even acknowledge Diana is even there. And he's rude to Matthew, and he knows who Matthew is. And he's not pleased that the Queen sent her spy to search for Edward Kelley. And he really doesn't want him there either. But we see Rudolph's interests are piqued when Diana speaks up and says that she's interested in alchemy. So he even goes so far as to kiss her hand and call her the goddess of the hunt after the goddess Diana. So we see him take it's kind of an unusual interest in her. And even Matthew comments on it a couple of times throughout the episode. So I thought that was very interesting as well. And then Gallowglass ends up meeting them, and he knows that they're mated. Somehow he senses that Diana and Matthew ended up getting married in the last episode. So I thought that was really cool and interesting to bring in, that other people can sense this mating that they went through. So I really kind of thought that was, again, a very interesting thing to do, because there is somebody else in the episode who does comment on that as well. And then he shows them where they're staying, and they end up finding an unexpected guest waiting for them. And Matthew is not too happy about this. It's really because of the fact that at any moment they can have to pick up and take off, because the Emperor really doesn't trust them. He's only interested in Diana, and it gets really apparent as the episode goes on. Matthew and Pierre continue their search for Kelley, while Diana and Gallowglass seek an audience with Rudolph. So they're trying to bring Rudolph a gift. Diana is of a book. She wants to try to convince him that he needs it and wants it, so she can get access to the Book of Life. But yeah, Rudolph's really not having any of that. But he's interested in Diana, so he keeps things going with her. And he takes Diana and Gallowglass into this private chamber that has tons of magical artifacts almost. That's what he calls them. And they meet a rabbi that Rudolph has working for him. So later on, Matthew and Diana go and meet him and talk about the Book of Life to see if it's there, and he confirms it. So we get to see we do get to see that it is there, and Matthew continues his search for Kelley to figure out what's, if he can get him and get the book as well. And while all of this is happening and they're going around, Gallowglass sneaks into the private chamber of Rudolph there for his real private collection, and he makes a shocking discovery that he takes back to Matthew and Diana to show them what this emperor is really about. And I thought it was really cool because once he sees what it is, he's really shocked and he tells them. So we see Matthew in this part, when he shows them, kind of freak out, and Diana has to talk to him and calm him down. So this is really good in getting good. And we also get to see throughout the whole episode, Matthew and Rudolph are pitted against each other. They're poking and prodding each other and trying to wind each other up, and it works until like it explodes as they're outside. But we also really see that Rudolph is like talking to Diana about the bedchambers, things like that, which I was like, what? I was like, dude, you know this guy is like, you know who he is, and you're still like, hey, why don't you drop this guy and get with me type thing. And it's crazy. So after everything, Rudolph does summon Diana and Matthew to like a small party in his chamber to show off the artifacts, and Rudolph is really kind of rude and calls Diana a charlatan, and she shows him she's not one. So he's like, whatever you want. And she's like, I want to see the Book of Life. So he takes her to see Kelley. And this is where things get really crazy and good at the same time. Like, the magic in this part is, dude, off the scale. It's really fantastic. And we end up ending the episode on a great cliffhanger, too, because it sets up the next episode for, like, the present day issues that are going on, and sets up, like, things in the past, because we do get to see somebody pop in at the end who's really interested in, like, Diana and Kelley and the book as well. So we get a new player in this episode, which I thought was really kind of cool. Again, the effects in this were amazing. I mean, Diana even kind of loses her temper and makes a snake on a cup real. So I thought that was really awesome. Matthew and Rudolph are great in this episode. They really show, like, a lot of emotion between the two of them. Like, Matthew really shows emotion now that Diana and him are mated, and, like, what he's willing to do to, you know, like, for her and to protect her. And Rudolph is just straight up just a weird guy. He's into, like, all this magic and kind of the occult stuff. So he's willing to go to extreme lengths to get what he wants. And the tension between him and Matthew is crazy good, because they just poke and prod each other, wind each other up, and it does explode. And we see Diana really have to calm Matthew down in one part. And the dialogue in this, I thought, was fantastic as well. Just between everybody being like, hey, I can sense you guys are mated now. Oh, you know, but it's a little different to Rudolph being like, oh, you know, you should stick with me and, you know, ditch your husband, and, you know, you're a charlatan if you don't show me stuff. And, you know, and it really, I get the sense that he already knew she really wasn't, but he was trying to make her say it, you know what I mean, and show him. Because he, you know, he is the type of guy who's like, I get what I want, whether you like it or not type thing. So I thought that was really good. This episode was a game of cat and mouse between Diana, Matthew, and Rudolph. We really get to see just how far Rudolph is willing to go to get exactly what he wants with the Book of Life. And we see how far Matthew and Diana are willing to go to get it. So this episode was fantastic. Again, I would give it 8.5, 9, just because it did feel like a reversal of when they met Philippe. That was more kind of standoffish at first, but welcoming afterwards. This episode was straight up just cat and mouse. Let's do what we got to do to get in and get out type thing without, you know, risking anybody's life or getting, like, say, like, especially Diana imprisoned by Rudolph. So this, again, was, yeah, I definitely liked this episode. It was great. If you guys like what I do, please hit the like button and then subscribe, as I'll be doing more content each week. Take care for now, everybody.